I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
All right, so I'm back again, right? So I went back, watched the live stream. Oh, by the way, check the other live stream that I did before this one that preceded, that immediately preceded this live stream. So I'm watching the live stream. I said, when these, we said, what's going on, Lawrence? What's going on with you? So let's talk about it. So shout out to Lawrence in the chat room. Let's talk about something though. So I went back to the channel where I was on after, because Brownsville left, right? And I said something, and as soon as I left, it became true. See, sometimes less is more, and maybe that should be a lesson for me. That less should be more, um, because you know, because what I said in the video about this had more about who you like than about what's being right. The same applies, the same rule applies on where y'all, who you allow to speak to you and to talk to you in any type of way. Now, granted, we all have families, we all have friends, we have people who we cherish, right? That I can understand. However, if a person can sit there and tell you um, that if a person can sit there and gaslight you or virtual signal, um, and then you sitting up here um, windmilling when you're not getting anything out of it, you know what? Maybe I'm going to, maybe I'm going to, maybe I should say that for another video. That that point should be saved for another video. But as soon as I left the live stream on bombs, because I said little few choice words to Brownsville, I told Bomb straight up, if a man, if why should this whole idea of picking favorites, even though the person who you defending had done some snake ass shit. Now I can't really, I wasn't trying to cuss, but it needs to be called out because what old boy doing is full of shit, and he is doing some bullshit. But like I said, her problem is, I'm talking about Bomb, right? Her problem is she is more about being liked. For her, it's more about what is being liked rather than what's being right. Now, Brownsville has always been going around on YouTube and try to call men, effeminate. Now, this is where Rude Imp came into play, and and Rude Imp tried to Rude Up and I am got on the panel, and they was talking about is an insult for a man to call a woman terms like butch or emasculated and so forth. And Rude Imp, to his credit, said said something to the fact that when a woman is called masculated or masculine or butch or whatever the case may be, this whole idea of because we live in the context of patriarchy, right? And because of the argument posed by Brownsville that men are stronger than women, um, therefore calling women a emasculate you know having a lot of testosterone rather than having estrogen, you're boosting that woman's position over that of a man who is called emasculated or who is called feminine or sassy or and then using these homophobic remarks, right? And I find that very peculiar because homophobia, there's a little degree of homophobia. How can you support homosexuals and at the same time using homophobic remarks about straight men, particularly straight black men? But that's open a whole other can of worms. I'm not gonna go into, but let me stick to the original point. See, it's based upon who is telling you, not what. And this is the point about fairness. We supposed to live in a society, right? The goal of our existence as Americans or as Western world is to seek fairness within our collective societies. But like you can't sit there and seek for fairness while at the same time you want these traditional habits, which is the problem I have with certain women online, certain individuals online who's willing to back a person like Brownsville when Brownsville is a misogynistic. Now everybody knows that the red pill community is misogyny. Everybody knows that anybody within the confines of MGTOW, um, SYSBM, um, Igmore, you know that within the confines of that, excuse me, within the confines of that, it is um, some levels of misogyny. You look at the tenets of SYSBM, it's a bunch of misogyny. If you read the tenets of SYSBM, there's a lot of misogyny within it. But anyway, nonetheless, right? But at the same flip side, on the red pill, you got blue pill simps like Brownsville who believe that women should be put on the pedestal just on the fact basis that they are women. Well, on that occasion, that is also misogyny as well. And this is what Brownsville don't seem to understand, right? And this is the reason why his existence on YouTube is going to doom both Bomb and Sherrod. All right, it's going to doom, but the both of them. What's going on, Candy Cane? Yeah, see, those those are fighting words. You know, he act like see Brownsville act like that. He act like insults that people is not supposed to give pushback to his insults. Brownsville act like nobody that he's above approach when he's dishing out the see the thing is, and I'm gonna say this straight up. I want you to understand because Brownsville does this shit, he needs to understand, and I got some enchiladas here, some good enchiladas here, and I forgot to get me some jalapenos. So excuse me if I'm over here smacking, but I also got me some tacos, by the way. This whole comparison to Jay Prince, every man is Jay Prince in Brownsville's eyes. That's why I did the video around the hay. See that the condescending bullshit that Brownsville's doing. I never beat up on a woman, you know. I never put hands on a woman. So I don't have no 4 or 5 kids. I'm not marrying them. I don't have a boatload of kids, and my house ain't crumbling and all that, right? Now, I'm not saying that I am the best pick among men or the best pick among black men because I'm not. You know, I'm humble enough to know I'm not the best one, right? But I'm not the worst pick either. But sit there and claim though that I'm Jay Prince. Say, all right, oh Big J, you're just like Jay Prince. Brownsville likes to use those points, the gaslight, and then he turns around, hides behind Sherrod and hides behind Bomb because that's like having a white person. Let me use it like this. That's like having a white person calling somebody a jigaboo and then run to a police officer or run into a some sort of authority when somebody's about to break a foot up in their ass. See, and that's what Brownsville does. He talks shit. He'll talk under your clothes, talking about, oh, you're a incel. Oh, you're incel, you're a rim bro. First thing come out of his mouth, and then he runs behind whoever the content creator is, whether that's Bomb or Sherrod. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. Sherrod is gonna be punished for what Brownsville do. I'll say it again right now, so people can understand. Brownsville is going to destroy Sherrod's channel. I'm not going to tell you how it's going to happen. All I'm going to tell you is going to happen because you cannot hide behind like a punk for so long. Hide behind another man for so long. And can't talk about manhood and stoicism. When you hide behind a man, you hide behind a gang of females, a team of women. You see, that blossom is about to bloom. It's past the blooming stage, and it's about to fall off. All right, because who the hell's outside my house? Oh, never mind. So anyway, when I see what happened to likewise when unlikely was on that panel and Brownsville did that whole ass shit again. Now I was already gone at this point. He did that whole ass shit, the unlikely to leave whatever his name is. And when unlikely said, unlikely gave Brownsville a cryptic. Uh, he made a cryptic statement. He made a very cryptic statement. You know, but I understood it. I understood what unlikely said. The thing what Brownsville does is he goes around and says, "Oh, you're a rim bro because you're not married. Show me your woman at." Now, the question that needs to be asked, and nobody's not asking is not being answered, is how are you going to um, answer when if the role of men is to guard, is to be protector of one's family and provide for one's family, especially the women, right? Now, why should I'm gonna use myself for this example. Why should I show you who I'm dating? Why should I show you who I'm married to? Now, Big J was seeing a woman on YouTube. And some people know, and some people are familiar with familiar that I was at one point seeing a woman offline over here, you know, in person. Now will I tell you who she is? Nope. Why? Because I'm protecting her. But anyway, because of that, I refuse to show who I spend my time with. You know, I refuse to tell you who is the woman in question. And because I refuse to show whoever I was with or at some given time, he tried to devalue my manhood by a woman's appearance. A man is a man no matter a man of of all men who are good don't have wives and girlfriends. See, the premise of Brownsville's argument, right, is a man's not a man until he has a girlfriend or a wife, or in some cases, just if he has some kids. So by that premise is a flawed premise because it shows his hypocrisy is that he quotes that Bible. See, the thing is, Brownsville loved to quote the Bible and use that Bible talking about, oh, a man who's double-minded, or men who are lovers of men, and saying all that that nonsensical bullshit. And that brings up another point. But I'll go ahead and make this point. How can you try to quote the Bible about how men could get behind the Bible when Bomb Cherry does not like Christianity? When some of these women that who Bomb Cherry that Sherrod is backing are against any form of religion. Make that make sense. But anyway, let's get back to the original point, right? So for Brownsville to sit here and say that dumb shit about the Bible and quote that Bible on men he don't even know. I'm talking about a man's not a man until he has a wife. Well, let's look at the disciples, right? Let's look at the apostles and the disciples of early Christianity. So are we saying Stephen was not a man? Are you saying Peter is not a man? Peter was if you ask some of the people, Peter was called the first pope, was considered the first pope by the Roman Catholic Church. So when Peter was there, so is Peter not a man? Was Stephen not a man? Was Paul not a man? Was James, who was Jesus's brother, was he not a man? Because none of these men I had forementioned were, if you read the Bible, were married to any woman. So for Brownsville to come online and tell you and tell anybody who tell all men, not just those who are manosphere, but those who are anti-manosphere, you're not a man because you don't have kids. You show me your wife, because if you don't show me your wife, therefore you're a real bro and you're possibly homosexual because you got estrogen. And that's why going back to going back to the unlike, right? The unlikely says something, right? Unlikely did not show. Unlikely told Brownsville on that panel, and I agree with and what Unlikely did said. You know, he said, "Negro, if me and you was in the same room, you wouldn't be saying that." You know, and that is true. Brownsville talk too much shit about people who know nothing about, and anybody else who is supporting Brownsville. When I said support, I'm talking about those who host him on their platforms. Understand that because y'all protect Brownsville, understand people are not going to support you when all he does is land blast you, gaslight you, and then try when that doesn't work, you try to virtual signal on the others, and that's what he's doing. I got a cold, y'all, but that's exactly what he's going to do. So don't get mad of the consequences of Brownsville's bullshit. Going to tell somebody how to be a man, and he does not know how to uh, he doesn't know how to you know, he'll tell you how to be a man, but then he hides. Yet though he tells Sherrod or he tell Bomb, put him in the back, put him in the back. I can't stand it. Put him in the back. I'm gonna say this too, though. There's something else that I caught on. Notice that he's willing to face somebody like Jay Prince. Now I want you to understand something. Now, he compared me to Jay Prince. Now, like I said, those are fighting words. All right. Those are fighting words. Comparing Big J Triple X to Jay Prince are fighting words. But hold on. If Big J is like Jay Prince, how come how come um Brownsville will only show up on and when it's time for a one-on-one, he shows up on Jay Prince's channel. See, Jay Prince and Sherrod, Jay Prince and Sherrod are working together. Oh, Big J, what you talking about? I'm tell you what I'm talking about. Jay Prince and Sherrod, who is Brownsville's cousin, they're playing a game, and that's why I said though they're fake. They played this game of okay, well, I'm gonna be the bad guy, you be the good guy, and we're gonna, you know, we're going to talk shit, blah blah blah, and let the women, the black women who are in the mix played the role of sheep, the sheepdogs, and we're gonna get paid off of it. We both gonna get paid off. That's what this is about. So when every time I called that out, the J's being sassy. No, not being sassy. I know what's going on. That's why Bomb got upset today, and she was upset last night. When I confronted both Sherrod last night and tonight with Brownsville. Because see, I know what the game is. Not stupid. See, this some low level bullshit, low tier shit. And shout out to Kelly Ray who said this morning. Big J, I'm talking about this what Kelly Ray told me. You know, Mo Rick Duck's wife. She told me this morning. Big J, you gotta stay out of the low tier channels. You're bigger than these low tier channels. And you're right. I need to. But I'm glad what Rudip and I am did earlier tonight because it proved my point. And with that, I'm gonna finish these tacos because I'm done with the enchiladas. Um, yeah, I'm gonna finish off these tacos because the enchiladas was good. So I'm gonna finish off these tacos and I'm gonna head to bed. Um, yeah, I may not get to Brownsville the way I want to. I'm never going. He's never going to be man enough um, to accept what he did last week was some bullshit. So since that's not going to happen, sadly, as a consolation prize, you know what happened tonight. Prove my point. So with that, I'm the one who paid property taxes. I own land. Does Brownsville own land? No, he doesn't. He owns a fucking ass apartment somewhere with a woman and with a lady and 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 2 3 kids. If this country shut down tomorrow, he'll be up in New York in the dark. I, for one, can live off the land over here in Texas, while he's up in New York, try to scrape by in the cities of New York. See, the burden of proof on being a man is be on him, because at least I can survive the next month, next two butts, 3 butts, 4 butts off of the land. He be in New York starving and closed off for the rest of the 48 48 states, for the rest of the country in Manhattan. So with that, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm out.